For over 2,000 years, one name has haunted the edges of history, a word whispered in myths, dreams, and impossible maps: Atlantis. An island said to be more advanced than any civilization that came before it, a kingdom of crystal towers, golden temples, and vast harbors filled with ships that crossed the world, until one day it vanished beneath the sea. Was it a myth, a memory, or a warning left for those who would rise again? For centuries, philosophers, explorers, and scientists have searched for its remains. But what if the greatest clue to Atlantis isn't a sunken city, but a pyramid, a structure buried deep beneath the ocean floor, hidden in plain sight? Join Unveil Archive as we journey through forbidden maps, lost technologies, and unexplained discoveries to uncover the mystery behind the Lost Pyramid of Atlantis. If the stories are true, it may not be a legend at all. It may be the missing chapter of our human story. Welcome to Unveil Archive, where myths breathe and history remembers what science forgets. The story of Atlantis begins not with a mythmaker, but with a philosopher, Plato. Around 360 BC, in two of his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, Plato described an advanced island civilization beyond the Pillars of Heracles, a place that existed 9,000 years before his time. According to him, Atlantis was vast, larger than Libya and Asia combined. It possessed technologies and knowledge that rival even our modern world. Its kings ruled with wisdom until they grew arrogant. Then, in a single day and night of misfortune, Atlantis sank beneath the waves. Most scholars call it allegory, a moral tale. But what if Plato wasn't inventing a story? What if he was remembering one? Because Plato claimed his account came from older Egyptian records, stories told by priests in Say, who preserved memories of a lost age when great islands ruled the seas. Those priests said the Greeks were children because they had forgotten the great catastrophes that erased civilizations before them. If that's true, Atlantis wasn't a fantasy. It was a fragment of prehistory, a chapter older than all recorded time. And if such a civilization really existed, its monuments, its knowledge, its fingerprints would still be somewhere on this earth or beneath it. In the modern era, explorers have found more questions than answers, but the discoveries keep coming. In 2001, a sonar team mapping the Gulf of Cadiz, west of Gibraltar, detected a vast geometric formation, a massive symmetrical mound beneath the ocean floor. Some dismissed it as a natural feature. Others saw something more, a structure matching the dimensions and angles of a pyramid. Further south, off the coast of Cuba, researchers discovered what appeared to be the ruins of a city. Rectangular foundations, roads, and what looked like temple platforms, resting nearly 2,000 feet below the surface. When marine archaeologist Paulina Zalitsky first saw the sonar images, she said, "It looked like a sunken city, like something out of a dream." And then there is the Azores, a remote chain of islands in the Atlantic Ocean, exactly where Plato placed Atlantis. In 2013, a local fisherman named Diocleciano Silva captured sonar scans showing a perfect four-sided pyramid submerged beneath the ocean floor. Its base nearly 8,000 square meters and aligned precisely with the cardinal directions, just like the Great Pyramid of Giza. Coincidence, or the last surviving monument of a forgotten world? Scientists remain cautious. The depths are treacherous, the data incomplete, but the geometry, the placement, the proportions, they all whisper the same truth. This is not nature's design. It is architecture. The legend of Atlantis describes a civilization obsessed with balance between the heavens and the earth, the spiritual and the material. They were said to harness energy from the planet itself through crystals, sound, and geometry. The same concepts appear in Egyptian temples, in Mayan myths, in the stones of Angkor. Could all these be echoes of a single origin, a blueprint carried across generations, passed down by survivors who once walked among the ruins of a drowned world? Ancient texts speak of the first time, a golden age when gods and men shared the same breath. Every culture calls it by a different name: Zep Tepi, the age of the gods, the time before the flood. Perhaps Atlantis was that age. And if so, the pyramids may be more than monuments. They may be memories, built to remember a world that vanished in water. Because every great flood myth, from the Bible to the Epic of Gilgamesh, from Sumer to the Andes, tells the same story, a cataclysm that wiped the earth clean and a few who survived to rebuild. Maybe those survivors were the Atlanteans, and the pyramids are their message to us. A warning, written in stone, for the next time the waters rise. Every time the mystery of Atlantis re-emerges, it threatens to rewrite everything we know about human history. And that's why it's always buried again. For decades, researchers who dared to question the timeline of civilization have been met with silence or ridicule, but the evidence refuses to stay hidden. Ancient maps show coastlines that shouldn't exist. The Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513, depicts Antarctica without ice, as it would have looked tens of thousands of years ago. Who could have seen that land before it was frozen? And how did that knowledge survive until the age of exploration? In the sands of Egypt, archaeologists uncovered a slab showing an island surrounded by concentric rings, a design eerily similar to Plato's description of Atlantis. That same symbol appears in cultures half a world away, from the temple carvings of the Maya to the rock engravings of Sardinia. Different ages, same pattern. Then there are the materials. Stone blocks fused together with a glass-like substance, as if melted by extreme heat, or technology far beyond simple chisels and hammers. Some call it vitrified stone. It appears in ancient fortresses of Scotland and on mountain ruins in Peru. Signs of construction that defies the limits of the tools we believe they had. If Atlantis truly harnessed energy, could it have been through resonance? Sound frequencies interacting with crystalline structures? Theories speak of piezoelectric fields, of quartz amplifying energy, concepts rediscovered only recently in modern physics. Every ancient culture spoke of crystals of power, pillars that glowed, temples that hummed. Perhaps those weren't myths, perhaps they were memories of a civilization that had learned to tune the planet itself, and when that civilization fell, so did the harmony of the earth. If Atlantis truly existed, it must still lie somewhere beneath us, buried under the weight of time, water, and denial. In the Atlantic Ocean, sonar readings have shown grid-like patterns stretching across the seafloor. In the Bahamas, the Bimini Road, a line of massive rectangular stones, has puzzled divers for decades. Too straight, too precise to be random. In Morocco, petroglyphs depict ships, stars, and pyramids, dating back to a time long before recorded history. In the Sahara Desert, satellite images reveal what look like riverbeds and circular formations, perhaps remnants of an inland sea where an island might once have stood before the desert claimed it. Some researchers point to the Rishat structure in Mauritania, the Eye of the Sahara, a perfect series of concentric rings matching Plato's description of Atlantis almost exactly. A central island, 2 rings of water, and an opening to the sea. It's visible from space. A scar on the earth, large enough to swallow a civilization. Coincidence? Or proof hiding in plain sight? Modern science says it's a natural formation, but every natural explanation leaves new questions. Why do the rings match the exact proportions in Plato's text? Why do the sediment layers suggest massive flooding? And why do ancient maps label that very region Atlantis? Perhaps what was once an island is now a desert. Perhaps the sea retreated and the truth turned to dust. History loves certainty, but the earth remembers differently. If the legends are true, Atlantis was not destroyed. It was transformed. Its body sank, but its spirit survived. In myths, in symbols, in stone. The survivors may have scattered across the world, carrying fragments of knowledge, geometry, astronomy, architecture, that would one day rebuild civilization. And wherever they went, they built pyramids. They taught alignment, proportion, and harmony. They rebuilt the code. That is why we find the same sacred mathematics in Egypt, in Mexico, in Cambodia, in China. Not imitation, continuation, the Atlantean blueprint copied across time. Perhaps the pyramids are not tombs, but time capsules, reminders of what we lost and what we could become again. Every stone speaks, and all of them tell the same story. We have been here before. Maybe that is the real secret of the Lost Pyramid of Atlantis. Not where it is, but what it means. It is the mirror of human ambition. The rise, the fall, the endless search to reconnect with something greater than ourselves. We chase Atlantis, but maybe Atlantis was never just a place. Maybe it was humanity at its peak, when spirit and science were one. And maybe, one day, when we finally understand the message carved in those forgotten stones, we will realize Atlantis never disappeared. It only waits for us to remember. This is Unveil Archive, where lost worlds return to life, and every myth hides a truth waiting to be uncovered. If you believe history still hides more than it reveals, subscribe now and join us as we continue to unveil the forgotten past, one mystery at a time.